So here we are with Becca from Cooking Matters, which is another program that is here at the New Hampshire Food Bank.
Yes.
And we're going to make a healthy alternative chocolate cake. Becca, can you tell us a little bit about chocolate cake?
Sure, and I can talk a little bit about Cooking Matters as well. Cooking Matters is a national program. It was created by Share Our Strength, and it's locally hosted by the New Hampshire Food Bank.
That's great.
We work with low-income families to teach them healthy and affordable recipes that they can cook on their own, and they can save a lot of money on their food budget.
That's great.
So this cake recipe is really great because even though it's chocolate cake, it's a sometimes food. You don't want to eat cake every day.
Right.
We've taken the ingredients and reworked them to make them a little bit healthier. So we're going to be looking at some of the ways that we've made this healthier, in addition to what's inside the cake, also what goes on top of the cake.
Okay, so let's start. So we have here all-purpose flour and
Whole wheat flour.
whole wheat flour.
Yes.
So that's the alternative for the healthier version.
Yes, and so there's the 2010 dietary recommendations are to make half your grains whole. So a great way to do that is just to substitute with half whole wheat flour whenever you're baking something. And usually a half and half recipe works out pretty well. You don't affect the texture of the cake at all. So
yeah, because the whole wheat will have a different texture than the regular
white,
flour.
and it makes it a little bit denser. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then to this we're going to add some brown sugar.
Yes.
And everything's pretty much portioned. We have some baking soda,
Yes.
salt, and we're also going to add some cocoa powder. So we're going to do 1/3 of a cup just to show the best way to measure.
So in Cooking Matters classes, we show people step by step how to prepare food. So oftentimes we're working with them on knife skills. Usually we do that the very first week and then continue it so that they develop those strong skills so they can prepare a lot of vegetables really efficiently. Cooking will become less of a bore.
Right.
When we do baked things, we show them the proper way to measure. So you've just measured out our cocoa powder.
So this would be the incorrect way, and then we're going to do this and level it out a little bit.
You want a level 1/3 cup of cocoa powder.
Okay. How's that? Is that good?
That looks good.
Did I do all right?
Yes,
okay.
I think so. A little bit of cocoa powder extra won't hurt.
That's okay. That won't hurt any. So there's our cocoa powder. And then over on this side, we're going to measure all of our wet ingredients, which includes water,
cold water, oil, and when making a baked recipe healthier, you can substitute some of the oil with applesauce or another pureed fruit or vegetable. You were saying about
tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce, which I thought was really cool. I mean, sneaking an extra vegetable.
You with it?
Cake,
yeah. The kids will never know.
The taste at all.
That's great.
We're using applesauce.
And then we have in traditional cakes vanilla, but also vinegar.
Yes.
What is the vinegar? Why vinegar?
So we're not using eggs in this recipe. A lot of cakes use eggs, and so with the vinegar, it'll help with our leavening. That's one of the functions of eggs in the cake recipe. So it'll react with the baking soda to make our cake rise.
Nice and fluffy. I like that. That's great. I never knew that. Vinegar. That's great. And it doesn't affect the flavor of the cake at all.
No, it doesn't. You can't taste it. And another thing, there's folks who choose to eat vegan or vegetarian, and so this recipe.
Oh, so that would be a great way to incorporate that.
Eggs, right?
That's great. I never thought of that. Good one. You guys think of everything here, don't you?
They do. I mean, Cooking Matters does a great job. The recipes for our classes are submitted from chefs all around the country that work with Cooking Matters.
Oh, that's great.
So it's great that we have a countrywide pool of expertise that goes into these recipes.
That's great.
They get tested, they get reworked, so that folks who are doing this at home really get really great recipes.
That's wonderful. And it's so easy to make, too.
Yes.
And this recipe was brought to us by...
Actually, this one looks like it's a national recipe.
Oh, nice.
So this recipe works really great in a cake pan or in muffin tins. So if we're doing this in a cake pan, we want a 9-inch square pan. I think when it gets too long, because we don't have the eggs, it gets too long, it doesn't keep its shape as well. So I'm just going to prepare these muffin tins with a little bit of cooking spray. You could use cupcake liners too and save if you don't have cooking spray at home. And we'll start with that.
Okay. And then we'll just pour a little bit in.
sounds good to me.
Is that all right? Let's see how good my aim is.
So one of the things that Cooking Matters does is it empowers folks with the skills and knowledge to make healthy, affordable food. But in some of our classes, we are working with parents and kids at the same time.
Oh, that's great.
This is a great recipe that parents and kids to do together. Kids of all ages can learn to measure.
Right.
I mean, there aren't any eggs, so we don't have to worry about the hazards that go along with eggs, salmonella.
Right.
So this is a great kid-friendly recipe as well.
That's great. And it's so much fun to cook in the, I know, it's so much fun to cook in the kitchen with mom and dad, or, you know, aunts and uncles.
Oh, fill it.
Sorry. Like, is that okay? Okay.
So yeah, great. I mean, this is a good party activity. So you could have cupcake party.
Cupcake party.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
And parents don't have to worry about raw eggs everywhere.
Yeah, that's great. Kids putting their fingers and trying the batter and getting the raw eggs. I get it.
Yeah, that's happened in classes. And
Yeah.
So,
you almost can't help but to.
I know. Yes, and this recipe is really great because it does taste really good without cooking it too.
That's great. So we're gonna. I made a little bit of a mess.
That's all right.
We're gonna put these in the oven at 350.
350. They cook for about 20 minutes. Since we're doing cupcakes, they might go a little bit faster.
A little bit less. Okay. So put these in here. Should have used the bottom one. So, and then here we have our finished product.
We do, yes.
Ta-da! That looks great.
Just get this out of the way.
Perfect. Little cleanup job here real quick. Always clean as you go.
It's always a good habit to get into.
Definitely. So here we have our finished product.
Yes.
These beautiful cupcakes.
So one of the things when we do this recipe with kids is they always want the frosting.
Of course.
Who doesn't like frosting? One of the disadvantages of adding frosting is you're adding a lot of saturated fat to your cupcake. And once in a while that's fine, but if you wanted to do something a little bit lighter, adding some fresh fruit like a sliced banana or sliced strawberry goes really, really well. Also some just powdered sugar, make it a little bit sweeter. So I think our sifter is over there.
Wonderful.
If you wanted to give that a go.
Yep. How about I cut the banana and you sift a little? How about that?
So just a little bit, just enough to sweeten it up.
Oh, it's so pretty. We'll put a couple of bananas here. A couple of bananas here.
Fruit in the cupcake, fruit on top of the cupcake, whole wheat flour. I think you should try some.
Can I?
You can.
A little bit of flour, a little bit of banana. Oh, I'm very excited about this. Mmm. That's good.